You just remember what your old past said. Boy, you got a friend in me.
2008, 2023, okay?
Okay.
Take CrossFit back in 2008. In 2009, I PR'd my snatch, and I think either took first or second in the snatch event and got 225 in 2009.
He's getting married next week, just bought a new house, his business is booming. I mean, he's been training hard, loves what he does, you know. The guy's 23 years old, man, and his life is pretty damn good.
Come on.
Jason Khalipa, 215. Blair Morrison, 205.
So that's a weightlifting event in 225, right?
Right.
Fast forward, these numbers saw hockey stick growth for Olympic weightlifting, right? So you go from me hitting a PR and basically taking second in the games to now 225 wouldn't even it's nothing. They're repping that out for nothing, right?
Right, yeah.
So now it's like at 300, right?
Yeah.
So now let's just say you take let's just say around 2000. Let's just say I don't know, what was this, like 16, right? You start seeing numbers like that. Now, keep here. Then 2009. Let's just take like a monostructural, right? Like single modality. In the beginning, they had runs, people were failing. All of a sudden, you saw cardio and engines start to really escalate around that, half marathon row. They started doing longer runs. People started learning how to swim. You saw, if you're looking at gymnastics, weightlifting, and single modality or monostructural, you saw hockey stick growth from early on in CrossFit in 2 of the 3 modalities.
Right.
But gymnastics kind of always stayed here. And if you compare it to the professional, so if you compare a 1 rep max snatch or clean and jerk to the professionals, CrossFitters are within, let's just say, a 20% deviation, give or take. If you compare running and endurance events, they're within 20%. Again, there's give and take. But if you look at gymnastics, you're not even within a fraction of the realm of where the professionals are at. Muscle ups, for example, are considered a hard skill in CrossFit, but that's just the way you get on the rings in gymnastics. So what I'm thinking is, and I didn't realize this until I realized this.
Wow.
Now Bosman is, I think, starting to hit this hockey stick growth of gymnastics because he recognized that we were deficient in that area, that it just took longer because no one really likes the gymnastics. So now you're starting to see more stuff. So originally I was like, dude, why the parallel, why these things? Like, I'm just kind of anti it. But now I'm starting to understand that if you want to have the well-rounded gymnastics, weightlifting, monostructural, that's the gap that we can have the most improvement in to increase the overall athlete.
2 thoughts. Number 1.
Yep.
Do you think that has anything with it having to be infinitely scalable? Like the gymnastics movements are much harder to be brought down to the level of the intro.
Yeah, I mean, the L-sit was always an important component of CrossFit and muscle ups, but then, dude, an iron cross, I guess you could scale an iron cross, but it's I don't even know if I could do an iron cross. I don't think I could do an iron cross.
I've done one, but I was 175 pounds.
Yeah.
It'd be tough for you. You got long arms, you're heavy.
Yeah. So, anyways, I just found this to be interesting because when anybody's looking at the CrossFit Games or other events and they're like, why these weird gymnastics things? 'Cause I was on that team. Now I'm starting to think about it more and I'm like, that is an area that we're not even scratching the surface of what's possible in human potential.
So you're saying you're playing both sides? You switch sides?
I think I'm more careful on the side that I'm on. I guess what I'm trying to say is I didn't look at it through the lens of human potential across different modalities. I was just focused on what I wanted to see at the CrossFit Games versus if you're truly trying to test for the fittest on earth, there's more improvement to be made over here. Now that's not to say that I don't want to see it, but if the goal is to test for fittest on earth, I think you need to have it. But I make the argument for maybe something else. I just want to see badass events.
So here they've got the backward handstand walk.
Yeah, so maybe that's
Where does that go on your graph?
Well, the graph, I don't know where it goes on my graph, but
that might be like a 2008 or 2009, really.
Yeah, the backwards back here.
It's right there.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. I mean, the elite people were struggling with it. That's the whole point, right?
Yeah. I just wouldn't be surprised.
It should be like doing a 155 male snatch.
Imagine in 5 years, you get a guy who could deadlift, 500 pounds, run a 5-minute mile, and hold an iron cross for 5 seconds.
Okay. That'd be impressive. I bet there aren't any of those out there.
Yeah.
The 5-minute mile is tough. You
Yeah.
ever done one of those?
No, I think 525 was my fastest ever.
What's your best deadlift?
560, I think.
Okay.
550. So
So the mile's close for you.
the reason why I brought this up to you is because it's for anybody that's like kind of hating on some of the gymnastic skills. I think they need to think about it in terms of like, where is there the most growth for human potential? And if you look at like the best gymnasts in the world, we're not even I bet you 90% of the best CrossFitters in the world probably, I mean, they could probably physically do it, but they maybe have never even tried a backflip.
So like
Pick
pick
like
out
that.
that basket for the goal. Make it look so easy.
There you go. Can you do a backflip?
I have done a backflip with Carl Pioli, and he taught it to me very quickly.
Let's take this from scratch.
Yeah.
And I just want you to think about this as you power clean something really heavy, but instead of getting under the bar, we're gonna think about getting over the bar. I think you just PR'd on your clean, right? I saw that video. How much was it?
322.
So if you can do a power clean at body weight and a nice, easy knees to elbows, and you know those two moments or those two motions, then you're going to be able to put them together, and we're going to put it into this backflip. Orient you, and also is going to favor these ribs coming out and everything getting soft.
Well, like I could feel it right now on my abs. But if you ask me to do one right now, I will not do it. I'm
Does that
afraid
have
of breaking my
anything
neck.
with the ground you stand upon? Would
Yeah, or
you
the
believe
fact that I'm wearing sandals, or the fact that I don't want to break my neck. Yeah.
Okay. Were you younger?
I was less handsome.
You're less handsome. How about the fact that maybe gymnastic stuff is more challenging the older you get? I asked if you were older for a reason, because like a backflip and the fear of death. Like you throw
Yeah.
yourself into a backflip, like what's the ramification of missing?
Yeah, you know what Carl Pioli did for me? He goes, hey Jay, can you power clean your body weight and do a knees to elbows?
If you can do a power clean at body weight and a nice, easy knees to elbows,
I was like, check, check. He's like, then I could teach you a backflip. But the thing that I think changes as you get older, at least for me, is like the risk of injury and like, is it worth that, you know?
Flashback.
I asked if you were older for a reason, because like a backflip and the fear of death.
End of flashback.
That's why, yeah.
You probably can't get me to do one right now.
So as far as this entire graph and chart
Presentation?
and everything,
Yeah.
the presentation, how do you blend those two things? Does it go right back to CrossFit sport should be removed from the methodology?
No, I think that the sport needs to be further defined. Like if you're really trying to, well, no, I mean, I think yes, a CrossFit gym is probably not going to be working backflips and iron crosses.
But maybe they should.
Dude, I don't know.
You go into any affiliate, you're more likely to find someone who can back squat 400 pounds than do, I don't know, backward handstand walk.
But I also think there's this skew of like, what do people want to do and what do they need to do for everyday life?
It doesn't matter.
Like, do they really need to be able to backward handstand walk for everyday life? Like, I think what's happening in the gym is much
Understood.
different
Great
than the
point.
sport of fitness. Like, what can we give them in the gym that helps them practically apply it outside the gym versus let's get them as fit as possible, human potential. But that's not like, that doesn't necessarily directly correlate to real life.
That was a great point. You win. Point, Jason. Thanks for the graph, man.
You're welcome.
Boy, you got a friend in me. Yeah, you got a friend in me.